Alright guys, day 2. We got the tank all set up, and it's not quite how I left it with you guys the last video. Made some changes on the fly, some things that I just didn't like and had to switch. First and foremost, no little floating island shelf. Got it in there, trying to think of how I wanted to get things planted. It just shaded too much of the tank. I just wasn't happy with how much it was actually going to cover up. And for 2, the little cup, you just couldn't put enough substrate in that I felt I could plant anything substantial. There just wasn't going to be any, it wasn't deep enough to do anything for really, anything with a lot of roots to it. So for this project, I think I'm going to skip the little floating island. So I moved the CO2 diffuser into the other corner. I added the second chamber. It's actually quite an efficient little setup. The chambers don't look all that big, but they actually hold a fair amount of CO2. When I was doing just the one, I filled it up completely, so it was down to here, and this is open to the bottom. And there's little tick marks, and every 15 minutes or so, like, another tick mark would be gone. Very little current. Nothing was actually blowing out. There was no bubbles going anywhere. It was just actually dissipating into the water column, and probably within, I don't know, maybe hour and a half, that whole thing was empty again. So it actually puts the CO2 to the water pretty good. Or at least I think so anyway. I don't know how much that truly is and how much it'll affect things, but I decided to go with the 2, just so I could do it once a day, first thing in the morning, and call it done. The substrate, definitely not enough substrate. 4.4 pounds for this 5.5 gallon tank was minimal at best. It's very light. The plants don't want to stay planted. I ended up basically excavating everything that was out underneath this rock and piece of driftwood so I could get a little more substrate. It wasn't enough. I don't know if I'm going to add some more or just try to make use of what I got, but I'll leave it this way for the time being. Added a few plants. Got some classic Java fern that I attached to the driftwood. Little Anubias. There's another little Anubias hiding in the back there, which I think I'm going to move. I got some new additions today that I still got to get in there. And I'm not quite sure exactly what these guys are. They came in as something assorted into the shop, and I don't know enough about plants. I've forgotten more than I care to admit. As far as identification goes, maybe somebody there will be able to tell me. My buddy Brian. But they should look pretty good as they grow out. Layout is not going to stay the way it is. I'm thinking I'm going to get another piece of driftwood to go up and kind of hide this when you're looking at it from the front. And that's about it. I got some fish, got some shrimp. Just got to do some acclimation and some water testing, and I'll probably make another video a little bit later and show off the tank then. So thanks for watching, guys.